Hello, BookTube. For this Poetry Thursday, I will be reading Whatever Happened to May Caspar by Edward Field from his collection Stars in My Eyes. Whatever Happened to May Caspar. What happens to old movie stars, those faded queens of stage and screen? They move into hotels off Times Square, maybe, where they live among their souvenirs, near the lights, the people, the premieres that no longer know them. Funny old ladies with hair of pink frizz, salvaging old costumes for street clothes. Does anyone remember May Caspar now? She was all the rage in '33 when she starred in May Morning with Ronald Peale, in which she played a simple country girl and he a prince who lost his heart among the apple blossoms. Now, 30 years later, that makes her about 60 at least. What does she see when she sits down to her vanity table with its clutter of lotions? Does she stare at the blur in the mirror and remember how young she was in that movie? How pure and fragile. Before she puts on her glasses, she takes a swig out of a large perfume bottle and goes about painting a Cupid doll over the wreck of her face. Somehow it always comes out crooked. Later, after her disastrous marriage to Nick Kinsella and the divorce and the operations, they say he beat her up horribly. After she got back her looks, she played femme fatale roles on divans with heavy eye makeup. Remember A Woman's Eyes with Yvonne Korlovan, in which May was the toast of Vienna until the love of her prince turned to hate when he discovered a stable boy was her lover, and she had to flee through snowdrifts in a sleigh, standing up behind the horses singing, "The heart will find a way." But ending up in a waterfront bar in Marseille, singing with an accordion, "A woman's eyes are pools of sin, don't look too long, they'll lure you in." There were dozens of suicides to her record of that song. Then came her greatest hit, The Downward Path, in which she played a mature stage star who fell in love with a young actor, but he only used her to make it to the top, while she went downhill fast and ended in the gutter, selling flowers by the stage door as he came out with the ingenue on his arm and stepped into the waiting limousine. How her beautiful eyes shone in that scene. You knew she held no grudge, but loved him still as she sang after him. Go, beautiful youth, forget me now, for I am old. Enjoy your fame as I did mine. For that America forgave her everything. Her parade of unsuitable husbands, her drunken brawls in restaurants. She was darling May Caspar for a few years anyway. Her career lasted only 3 years. Then she faded away. Now forgotten, she is that funny old lady living shabbily on a dwindling income in a Times Square hotel, once genteel, now full of call girls and Kansas tourists. It gets harder and harder to pay the bills. Back rent mounts up. Room service is cut off. She lives on hot dogs. Her fate looks grim. She is about to be put out in the street, with her souvenirs and wardrobe for the winter wind to blow away, plumes and bits of fur and photographs and dried corsages, and she's skittering after them down the streets. But wait, here comes a late writer, a message from the Museum of Modern Art. They are planning a May Caspar revival, and she is wanted to appear in person like the old days. May Caspar movies stamped authentic American art. She is proclaimed a great actress. May Caspar called back to Hollywood to make film. But first she goes to Last Chance, exclusive beauty resort in Death Valley, where they go to work on her with hormones, vitamins, embryo implants, and surgery. When she shows up in Hollywood, her beauty is restored. 30 years of ravishment have been erased. There is not a wrinkle. Of course, her strength is not what it was. 2 men have to hold her up, but she is a great trooper, and the show will go on. Today they are filming her big scene on the divan, her trademark. Lights, camera, action. May Caspar acts again. Anyway, she tries, but the effort is too much for her. The hot lights, the excitement, her skin held taut by invisible clips, her heart stimulated with drugs, her head sweating under the wig. Every bit of her is held together with string and sealing wax. Okay, Miss Caspar, give it all you've got. The camera moves in inexorably for a close-up. She tries desperately to think young, to hold everything up. Those merciless lights. Too late. It all collapses. Goodbye, May Caspar. We loved you in the way we love, faithlessly. Or are we growing older, ready to remember again our great loves of yesteryear, and go in search for them where we lost sight of them in those shabby places close to the brightest lights that cast the deepest shadow? Whatever Happened to May Caspar by Edward Field. Thank you, BookTube.